Good morning, everybody. Welcome back outside our lane. We're gonna see if we can't get in some bluegill today. Stay with us. Well, Eli is hooked up. Both sides are bad.
Just let the body.
We got it here clanking, Coco.
Several different ways.
I've got it set line.
What kind of spurs you got? Well, we're bluegill fishing Blue Mountain Spillway this morning using worms. Kel just caught one. I'm using a number 4 cricket hook with a small weighted bobber. Caught a few so far. I haven't caught one yet. Should be good though. Gar topping everywhere in a bunch of gar. So we'll see what goes down. That was a catfish. You see it? Right there?
Yeah. That's pretty good size catfish.
There'll be some on the rock pile. I can't quite get there.
No, I'm already looking.
Steve, try right out there. About even with the back of the rocks.
Yeah.
That,
How far over?
a little bit favoring that way, just a little bit on that side.
About where that shadow is coming off there?
Yeah. Yeah, you ought to float right in it right there. First one, small female. She's covered in anchor worm, so I think I'm gonna throw her back. It was covered in anchor worms. You ought to be right on top of them right there.
You need to have your bobber.
Yeah. Split shot. You got to use split shot. There's another catfish.
They'll be in this yellow bag on one of the sides.
There's a rock pile right there where Steve's at. He's right on the edge of it. And usually that's a pretty quick bite right there. Kind of hard to believe.
Yeah. Float it over.
We're gonna try down here. The water's about right for them to be stacked by the outlet down here. So we're gonna go try that. See all the drum over there and big gar. We may mess with them in a little bit. We're going to try the bluegill for right now. I know the bluegill up here. I've been seeing some trying to run up the water there. I know I'm going to end up with drum like I just did. But that's all right. See you later. Good gar coming up over there. Got some braid on another pole. We may try to catch one of them a little bit before we go. Probably going to catch another drum or this gar. Hope y'all just seen that gar that went down. Don't see my barb. There it is. Little blue. He's a little bit too small. He's emaciated. He's just a little bit bigger, we keep him, but he's a little on the small side. How long take a good bit over there? Back down again. I know y'all have heard me say it before. I've been fortunate enough to fish in pretty crazy places in the world. But I'd rather sit and watch a bobber and pull a bluegill up as about anything I've ever done, I think. I really figured the bite would be faster than what it's showing to be here. There's another one. Feel like a big drum. He's getting closer to the size to eat. This one. Fun to catch anyway. Sure does. A tip for you when you're using worms out of a tub, you ain't wanting to use the whole worm. Pull the worm over to the edge, wherever you want to cut him off at, and close it. And pinch him off, and then you got your same worm then to get next time. That way you ain't got a half a dozen half worms crawling around in your box. That way if you're at the end of your day and you still got bait left, you don't have to worry about them dying and then killing the rest of the worms. You get one dead worm in a box and they kind of triggers a reaction and they all die. But you do that, you don't have the best of that and have fresh worms next time you go if you don't use them all. Alright, let's get back after another drum. I was succumbing to the fact that we're drum fishing and might by luck get a bluegill. There's another one. That's what we wanted. There we go. Let's sit him right over here, and if we get a couple, we'll go put them in the bucket. Another bluegill trying to get up the spillway there. Yeah, maybe we got something going on now. Find the rocks.
Got a marker now. How'd you get two at one time?
I told them both to bite at the same time. That's 4 so far in a catfish. You mind if I film you for a YouTube channel?
Oh, hey.
Fella's catching catfish. He's got 2 or 3 in his basket down here already. That dip bait working pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah, it
Back down. Whoa, missed that one. Gar everywhere today. Oh, they're just something about watching a bobber. I don't know what it is. It's, to me, one of the purest forms of fishing. Simplest. There's no pride in bobber fishing, but there's no shame either. Y'all can see that gar right there by my bobber. He is kind of waiting to ambush. I catch him real easy right now just by putting him in his face. I don't want to yet. I may try him before we go. There's one. I'm over here looking at the little bitty drum. Looking at them drum over there in the corner. You guys don't know what triple tail are. That's what they look like from here, triple tail. And they're out on the ocean fishing. It's any kind of floating structure or a crab buoy or just any kind of loose trash floating out in the middle of the ocean. Stop, and just about kind of always been some kind of fish on it. But those triple tail, they're notorious for getting on like some crab trap buoys and stuff like that. There should be a fast bite here. Oh, current's dragging me out. I have to go over there, but it'd be a fast bite though. It would be a drum. There he is. Another drum. Or the little drummer boy today. So that's fast. That's bluegill. Get something down there. Like a catfish. It'll go on the bottom right now, probably. Throw the catfish up. There's one. I knew that wouldn't take long over there. Another drum. Funny story about the drum. I was working in the fish lab at Arkansas Tech University. And a buddy of mine, we had done larval tows, and we were identifying the larval fish. Larval tows when you just got on the lake, time of year when the young year being hatched out, and you just do a trawl net with a fine mesh cod end on the net, and you just kind of get an idea of how the fish populations are doing in the lake. We happen to be on Lake Dardanelle doing these larval trawls. And you have to bring these little bitty tiny fish. They're like this long, some of them are shorter than that. And you stick them under a microscope and you identify them. Well, I just started, hadn't been there long. And then had seen my first drum had come through the larval. And I hadn't identified or marked any. To put all of them in a little bitty vials, you know, mark them. date, scientific name of the fish, collection team, where we caught them, that sort of thing. Anyway, that's my first time to do a drum, and I asked my buddy Jake McPeak, my lab partner, what the scientific name for drum was. He says, "You not done drum yet?" And I said, "No." And there was another fish, and he looked at me and he said, "Drumidae." Oh, well, that makes sense. So I go through, and for 2 weeks, every drum that came through that I identified, I wrote Drumidae on a slip of paper, put it in the little bottled vials, and then stuck it in the shelf as done. Well, the professor that was heading up our project, my boss, he came through and just checking out our work. He picked up one of them bottles that had Drumidae written on it. He just puts his hand over his face and looks at me and says, "Tommy?" I said, "What?" He said, "What's the scientific name for drum?" I said, "Drumidae." And he just turned and looked at Jake, and Jake's grinning like a possum. The true scientific name for a drum is Cyanidae, not Drumidae. So I had to go back for 2 weeks worth of samples, and that's a lot of vials to change out. I had to go through and change every one of them. Sometimes. To this day, when Jake McPeak calls me, Drumidae pops up on the phone. There's a young girl just right down the way from me here right now. She's wearing a wing drum, a cast on her, or a wrapped arm anyway. I don't know if it's cast. It reminded me of the story of my boys. First time we ever took them to the ocean. We were actually headed to Disney World in Florida. We stopped, I think maybe in Pensacola. Anyway, somewhere down there. And Christopher had stitches in his hand. So we devised a way, all rednecked him up, put a bag over his hand and duct taped it to his arm so water wouldn't get in his arm. And all three of the boys, Christopher, Cody, and Corey, they was all excited about getting in the water. We sit down on the beach, another drum, and the boys all wade out into the water pretty quick. They was excited about getting in the water. Christopher was, I don't know, maybe 10 maybe. And Corey, that'd put him at 4 or 5. Water was real calm where he's at. Very child friendly. Anyway, they walk out in the water. They hadn't gone out there 10 yards. And I was concerned about Christopher's arm and the stitches and that bag holding up. But they all three made it about knee deep. And about simultaneously, they all stopped and turned around and looked and come running back up on the beach. I said, "What's wrong?" And all of them at the same time, they started complaining about the saltwater burning their chigger and tick bites on their legs. I'm just getting over COVID for the 3rd time. And it's not hot out here, but the sun's up. And it's just starting to get a little bit warm. And buddy, let me tell you, you talk about drain your battery now. It's been rough getting over it this time. Zero energy. I mean, just crazy. There we go. That's a good one. That's the one we're looking for. That's the kind we want right there. Put them where you want them. Have them off. I've seen times when you come right here and catch an absolute bucket full in just a few minutes. And it still surprises me that there's any left in here this late in the year. You can make a walk down from where I'm at right now. There's another one. With a ultralight and a couple worms. Somebody have some fun now. The source holes, there's about a dozen source holes between here and the bridge. And I've caught 2.5 pound crappie this time of year in them source holes using worms. They're about picked up quite a bit here now. I always thread my worm on. A lot of people like zigzagging it, but I always thread. And cover the whole hook a lot better that way. That's pretty quick there in a row. Maybe it's picked up here a little bit now. Another bite. Looks like a bluegill bite. Catch one more, I'm gonna put these in the bucket. You got young kids and you want to take them to places and catch fish pretty easy, this is a really good place. No big kept secret. Hundreds and hundreds of people fish here every week. So it's not like I'm revealing any kind of information that everybody don't already know about. Those bluegill trying to get up the spillway there. Well, they were hitting good for a minute. Ah, crap. I don't want him right now. Pretty spotted gar. I got him hooked in the wing. Yeah. You a saltwater fisherman?
Huh? Yeah.
Seen that pier net, and I figured you probably was.
Comes in handy here.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them I normally have with me.
There's a huge, you see that ginormous monster in here? Yeah.
He was over there a while ago. That's a pretty spot. Where do you fish at in the, you fish in the Gulf?
Yeah, we were just, what was it, a couple weeks ago, we were down at the Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
Gulf Shores?
Yeah.
What do you guys fish for when you're down there?
We caught some.
I caught a cobia off a pier.
Really? Off Gulf State Pier?
Yeah.
Huh?
Off Gulf State Pier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was I think they had to be 36 a keep.
Yeah.
He was like 30, in between 30, 31.
Man,
And then we caught some nice sized sea trout. What else we caught? Bluefish.
Yeah. We caught redfish, but they were on the side.
Yeah, we caught red snapper undersized. The triggerfish, which wasn't in season until
right.
day after we left.
They caught a bunch of snappers off the pier yesterday down there.
Really?
I followed 2 or 3 pages from that area down there,
Yeah, I
the
did
Gulf
too.
State Pier.
Yeah, I did.
One
too.
of them, they're catching. They're all undersized, like you said, but fun place to fish.
Yeah, it is fun.
Right on. What is he?
It's a spotted.
Oh, he's so pretty.
He bit the wrong hook. Just seen a real pretty red banded water snake. I didn't get the camera turned on in time. The girl and the dad beside me here was just talking to them. I caught that guard and you was hearing that, and she's got a YouTube channel. So you guys go check her out. It's called Fill in the Freezer. They're from Greenwood, Arkansas. So I'm gonna go subscribe to her channel. There's another one. Yeah, a little on the small side. I have played them smaller, but get the pass today. Nibby clip. Another thing, keep your worms in the shade when you can. Just a little bit like that right there, it helps. A hot worm is a dead worm. Dead worms is just gross. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. On the smaller end, the keeper size, but that's the keeper though. Done. Little guy. It's always been a mystery to me how you can catch a fish like that right there and the worm be gone. Don't get it. How's that possible? There's a big thick piece. This is why I would catch a drum. A little bit more visible, a little bit more scent. I don't want a drum. I want a big fat bluegill. Come on, take it. Now you want to taste. Drum. Yep. So the way we hit it. Whoa, lucky my line didn't break this spin. Definitely catch a mess of bluegill right now, right here. You gotta wade through the drum. Colder water, I'd be eating some of them. They're actually really good. Come on, Mr. Bluegill. There he is. Slow way down. Sun's getting overhead right now. He's got another one down there. He's a good keeper. Man.